Hey, what's up? Today we're going to talk about Grandmaster J and his militia called NFAC, which stands for Not Fucking Around Coalition. Now, John Johnson, aka Grandmaster J, he started the NFAC coalition, I think around 2017, I think. It's supposed to be an all-black militia, all black Americans, right? And its goals is to help the black community with firearms and firearms training. Now, if you're going to start a huge militia like this, you'd want to have some experience when it comes to it. Now, Grandmaster J was formerly in the Army, and he got out. He was in the Army during the early 90s, I believe. A lot of people think that just because a person has military experience, that they're good with guns, that they know what they're doing when it comes to handling guns, and that's not necessarily always the case. I'd say about 6 times out of 10, the person really doesn't have any knowledge, minus the one time a year that they go to the range and qualify with their M4, M16. And that seems to be the case with Grandmaster J here. Previously, videos have come out about him talking about his AR-15 bullpup.
This is an XR-15 shorty. We call it a bullpup because this bitch got kicked to it. This bitch will knock you the fuck down.
Now, obviously it's not a bullpup rifle. It's because the action is in front of the trigger. If the action is behind the trigger, that makes it a bullpup, and it shortens down the overall length of the rifle. This is just a shot in the dark. Maybe he was calling his AR-15 bullpup because he was thinking of a pit bull puppy? I don't know. Hopefully, but probably not, because just after he announced the name of his AR-15 rifle, he proceeded to show how unsafe the rifle was, that if you just bump it on the ground, it would go off. It could possibly shoot you.
If I'm not paying attention and I take this weapon and I bang it, look what just happened. The bolt goes forward. The weapon has fired. If you sit down and you bang this on the ground, you will blow your head off. It happens in basic training every day.
And that's not right, because it's a closed bolt system. It's not an open bolt rifle like a MAC-10. A MAC-10, you'll see the bolt back and you'll see the round sitting there in the magazine, and it fires when you pull the trigger. The bolt slams forward, firing pin hits that primer on the round and cycles it, and it fires once the bolt closes. It's an open bolt system. A closed bolt system, bolt has to be closed before you pull the firing pin to light that round off. So he got confused there. So there's another thing where he's not very knowledgeable. And if I was to start a militia like this, regardless of race, and I was doing big demonstrations in public, people, a lot of armed people, doing protests or whatever, I would understand that there's a lot of eyes on me. And that if I mess up, it's going to look bad for everybody. That's what he didn't really take into consideration. He's looking at 20 years right now because he pointed his weapon at city, state, and I think Secret Service agents that were up on a building roof overlooking the demonstration, just to make sure nothing was going to go down. He claims, and others claim, that all he was doing was shining his light up to see who was up on the roof. But his light happened to be attached to a rifle. And that's all good. If the light was attached to the rifle and he had it down, right, and he clicked it on, and just like a regular light, just looked up and did his thing, that'd be fine. But he didn't do that. He used the rifle, he shouldered the rifle, and he aimed it up at the police officers. Now, the police officers say that was dangerous because he could have had a negligent discharge or an accidental discharge, or he could have been intending to shoot the police officers. Now, intent can be hard to prove, but I mean, when you shoulder that rifle and you aim it up, and then you think back at the last couple demonstrations that NFAC has had, they've had negligent discharges in the past. I think 2, at 2 different events. It's not a long reach to say, hey, we kind of thought we might get hit with something. With the public persona that he has and the whole NFAC has right now, you'd think he'd choose his actions a little bit better than he did that day. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I hope he doesn't get 20 years for it, but that's what you get when you act stupid with guns. Hoped you liked it. And if you want to start a militia, know what you're doing first before you speak publicly and put videos out there that could possibly make you look stupid. Laters. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and feel free to share it, guys. Also, if you guys like my content and would like to support it, head on over to ballisticink.com/collections/Fitty_actual and pick up some merch designed by me. It's a great way to support the video production and get something physical in return. I do also have a Patreon account if you'd like to help that way too. Don't forget to stop by the Facebook page because we usually have a fun time there. Well, that's it, guys. Laters.
Unless you understand weapons for real, don't you listen to these motherfuckers who have no intention of ever picking up one and who don't understand that weapons go off by themselves all the time.